Yo, what's good, boys? Today is Wednesday, October 8th. Let's just run through price action really fast. I want to show you guys why I thought this A plus long setup was just so clean today. So without further ado, just hop straight in. All right, so let's just start with some top down, right? Completely honestly, doing the 10-second directional analysis, like when you look at the chart, you should know immediately where do I want to see price go within 10 seconds, right? You should have an idea of bias, right? So opening the market today before this huge move right at 8 a.m., right? Markets look pretty bearish, honestly. We're at all-time highs. We're starting to displace lower. We now have generated sell side below us, right? We have a big imbalance, so you might want to come retrace to right here. We're looking pretty good. Big displacement. We're pulling right back to equilibrium of the range right on open. We might want to see manipulation higher and a push lower, right? So at this moment, I'm looking to mark all my bearish confluences. I want to see where can I potentially predict price to start moving, right? So right here, I have my breaker block right about here. I'm going to mark this right here. I have this big fair value gap. I don't really need to mark it because we're inside of it, right? I have this nice equilibrium of the range right here. And this looks really good to go ahead and see on open something like this, right? Where we see manipulation higher than a little bit of an internal model, and then we trade back all the way down to these lows. That's what I was predicting that we would see on open, but I didn't end up taking the short and losing money because of it, because I'm able to react to the market, right? So another layer to this analysis, let's go ahead and check out ES and let's look at how the bias looked on there, because honestly, in my opinion, it was very similar, right? But once again, we just swept all-time highs. We started to displace lower. We now have that 4-hour breaker sitting right here. We have generated sell side down here. The only thing that could potentially tell us that we want to go ahead and move higher for the day is going to be this right here, this little SMT right here, right? And to me, I didn't hold this in the biggest regard today, where like I don't expect that low to get taken. I'm coming with a bullish bias because I have 10 things telling me we want to go lower and only one thing telling me I want to go higher, right? That's why I came into the day looking for a short setup. So I opened the market, right, with my short bias in mind. What do I want to see? I want to see some type of manipulation into this level right here, and then I want to see a 1-minute potential change in state trade to the downside, or I want to see big displacement first, then I can look to trade some kind of internal model down, right? So what do I get on open? We end up kind of playing around a little bit here. 930 from 928 right here to about 938 for this full like 10-15 minute period. I'll draw it out with the box right here, right? So 928 to about 30, let's say 39, right? This whole period, we move up on NASDAQ, right? Super important, watch this. We move up on NASDAQ, but then from that same period, we move literally down on ES. Literally same period, we're moving straight down. To me, that's telling me big discorrelation. I want to watch the market and see what it wants to do. I want to kind of literally just be a student, watch what the market wants to do, watch our manipulations at, be very careful, wait for my extra confirmation until that discorrelation clears up, right? So I'm watching that. I'm like, bro, I have no clue where markets want to go. Biggest time frame bias is bearish, right? But I still don't know. So right now I'm watching the markets, right? I'm watching the markets. We end up pushing higher, right? So on ES by about 943, we start blocking in and catching up. So we literally just start displacing higher on both indexes, right? We don't see any kind of 1-minute change in the state until right here at 1012. At that point, zoom out. Why should price retrace this high? 1012 right here. Why should price retrace this high into the entire area right here if we now want to reject this on a big time frame and push all the way lower? We most likely won't. That's why I'm looking at this and I'm saying I kind of have a long bias now, because it longs looks really clean to go ahead and take this buy side level instead of reverse all the way down, run all of these imbalances, these huge enemies to price moving lower quickly and easily. Instead, price looks much easier to go to these highs, because if we were truly bearish, we wouldn't push this high and then manipulate lower, right? That's what I'm coming into. So even though I usually do like to play this internal session range, right? This is just more general liquidity for the coming days. I'm completely fine to sit back and let the market generate its liquidity play around. I'm simply recognizing where the market's going to go. If you took shorts because you were looking at Asia and London liquidity, I would honestly tell you to, at times, look at those because those are big hits. But if the bias is clearly bullish, take the sessions off, bro, and just watch where are the liquidity levels we want to go take, right? So moving lower, like I said, what am I watching for, right? I'm watching for a type of retrace into a fair value gap. And when I have a big trend like this, I'm not going to look to take a long on every kind of change, pull back in a change in the state and trade an internal model. I want to see a clear SMT that's going to tell me this low is not going to get stop rated again, and this is going to be protected. Now I can take a nice long. So what do I end up seeing, right? On ES, we make higher lows. On NQ, we come down right here, we make lower lows. Yes, what's that? SMT divergence, right? At the same time on NQ, what are we tapping into right on that low, right? Pulling this all the way over. We're just barely to the tick, tapping into this 15-minute fair value gap, right? Now price is rebalanced. If we want to draw a range, right? Maybe if you're like that, if you really like standard deviation or equilibrium, you can draw this, say, yeah, we reach this discount of this price leg, whatever. But at this point, we have SMT within a fair value gap. What do I need to see? That's a lot of my confluence. I want to see generated liquidity. I want to see a strong, bigger time frame direction. Since I'm trading this internal model, it's very high probability now that I have an overlapped external model with overlapping draws and liquidity, because in terms of this internal model, where's my take profit go? Right here at this buy side liquidity. So I'll draw this out, right? This becomes sell side of the curve. So go ahead and do its smart money reversal with an SMT here with fair value gaps right there to now go ahead and expect to see buy side of the curve up to this level. And yeah, so what am I waiting for to now confirm my entry? I want to see an inverse fair value gap. I want to see a change in the state and a new fair value gap, right? Those three things give me the highest probability turnaround that I can get. So what do we have right here? Change in the state goes right here. Technically, it would go right here, but I'm not considering that as a high probability one because we can dip our head above that the same way we did right here, make inverse but not make a fair value gap. And price can technically have a change in the state, but it doesn't have displacement. It doesn't look right. So I want to see this one because once again, bro, I'm dropping sauce, bro. Changes to a line chart. Which high getting displaced above is now going to tell you we have a clean break of structure, right? Probably not this high, because if we look, there's other examples where maybe right here we broke above this high, but we didn't change structure back to the upside. We broke above this high, we didn't change structure. Broke above this high, we didn't change structure. I want to see a prominent high get broken, so that's why I'm waiting for this high to get broken, not this little one, right? So pulling back to the candlestick chart, I have my inverse fair value gap right here. I have a new fair value gap getting open right here, and right here, and right here. So where do I end up taking my entry? I look for two things, right? I'm looking for the position that I do expect price to pull back into. The cleanest way to take this would have been the change in the state right there, highest probability, and then stop wherever you want. I ended up taking this fair value gap. I was pretty convicted we pull back into that, and I ended up placing my stop, I believe, somewhere around here, or no, I think right here. So yeah, so right there is where I placed my stop. My first take profit goes at this internal high. Why is that? Because this is that model, right? Even though I'm very convicted, and I'll tell you guys why I didn't take profits here, right? I'm at least 100% going break even here, because the actual logic of the market is once we take this high, this market maker model is over. Now I can expect price to do whatever it wants, redo a whole nother AMD cycle, maybe stop me out and then go higher. So I want to make sure I'm at least going break even here, because now once this gets taken, I'm in a free flow state where I'm relying on conviction and technical analysis to see price carry me to my further TPs without stopping me out, right? So until this gets hit, we are safe, right? We are safe. So I'm watching price. At this point, right about at this high right here, we put in an SMT on this high on ES. So I go break even at that point and I say, yo, I'm letting this go. I don't care what happens, right? I only took this with about one contract. So I'll place it, actually I'll get it, but it was 395 risk right here. And then we let this run for, I think this would be about 700, something like that. This was first take profit. I didn't take anything off here. I was very, very convicted that we go to this high, right? But we ended up getting a bit of chop, right? So I ended up taking price off, I believe, right about here. So it was a -2 standard deviation drawing from, I believe, this high to right here. So -2 standard deviation right here, 2.95R. Ended up taking this off right at this candle at 1150. Another reason I took this, we're right within macro. So 1050 to 1110, that's gonna be my macro. I usually get my best trades within 950 to 1010 macro or 1050 to 1110 macro. So that's another reason why I like the setup a lot. Another reason why I took price off here at that -2 level was because, watch this, let's draw a horizontal line right here. Where does that perfectly line up with? It lines up very nicely with this high right here. So if price wants to edge me, do some bullshit, leave these highs for tomorrow to then go run, I'm still getting out because look, I'm taking price off right before we hit this internal high, right? So even could have left it for the internal high, even for this one. I just decided, yo, I'm already up a lot of bread. I literally just want to let price go. I'm fine with it. So I ended up taking price off right there for 2.95R. I only entered one contract on this. If I wouldn't have, I would have definitely taken partials, most likely 50% of the position off here, 25 here, and then a final 25 here. I'm not sure if I would have banged out more or less bread doing it that way, but you know, it's whatever. This was a super clean setup today, and this was honestly, this is everything I want to see for a continuation trade. Super happy to take this on the 15-minute time frame. It's an absolute snipe. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys actually learned something from my analysis. I know it's like a little bit quick, but I dropped a ton of sauce, a ton of gold in this video. So replay it, take notes if you guys have to. The way I look at the market is truly eye-opening for me and a lot of other people. So I hope that you guys learned something from the video. Without further ado, I'm gonna let you boys go. So peace out.